Hey guys, what up? I'm Sebastian and I got to show you that actually the Arteria minibrute has 6 different ways to distort the signal even more, because the bit factor is the first one, and actually it sounds pretty cool already, but there are different ways to do that. The second one is using a very basic patch cable, and you can use that to pick up the pitch at signal using the matrix here behind the send, and you can put that back to the gate in socket. So what happens is that basically the envelopes are continuously forced to restart, and in an endless loop. And what happens is that the gain is more high, tremendously I can add. And actually there is an offset to the bit factor. It starts from like 50% to 150%, and not from 0 to 100. So it sounds pretty cool. The third way to distort signal is using the envelopes, actually, because until here you can use that effect only with the envelopes closed. But if you start using the sustains, for example, this cable patching starts to be way violent, because the normal envelopes starts to be more important, and this forcing process starts to be more evident, because it's like creating a glitch inside the synth. It asks himself like, oh my gosh, I have to read 2 different types of envelopes at the same time, and I have to continuously restart the envelopes. So what I'm supposed to do? And this is what causes the extra distortion. So the fourth way to distort the signal even more is basically reproducing the bit factor using a basic jack cable, picking the master out signal, and pitching that back to the audio in. For this, it's very important to make sure that the toggle of the gate here is all the way left. Otherwise it's not gonna work. So after you have done, basically the okay, and the secondly, it's very important to keep the master volume all the way right. And after its maximum, basically the audio in has become an extra fucking brute factor. So this slider here is another brute factor, and it's up to you to make the all the way around. You can keep this audio in all the way up and use the master volume as a second brute factor, if you want that more near to the brute factor. I mean the original one, but it's up to you. I prefer to have that in the slider. So yeah, basically this is the fourth stage of distortion. The fifth one is using the filter. Actually, after you have a huge amount of gain, you can use the resonance to make the filter recycle the signal and create like a recycle. So if you use a huge amount of resonance and pick up the right frequency of the desired one, it's completely up to you. Basically the resonance starts to become like an alter distortion control, but it requires that you select the right frequency with a cutoff, because it depends from what you're playing, your sequencer or live, But after you've done, basically the resonance becomes a fifth way to distort the signal, and yeah, it sounds pretty cool too. The last one is an overall way to encapsulate the whole thing to another last distortion. Radar is the LFO. So basically put the rate of the LFO all the way maximum, and the same for the amp mapping. I prefer to use that in the plus direction, but you can use that in the inverse direction. It's up to you. Then select the shape of the LFO. I prefer the square one because it's more near to what happens in a distortion algorithm. And after we have done, okay, and the last, map the amount of LFO to with this matrix here to the modulation wheel. And after you have done, this modulation here became 6 fucking last control for the distortion. So it is more important to keep that like with a very tiny amount, because otherwise it's gonna be mask the whole effect and create only clicks. There are usable for experimental music like electroacoustic stuff, but I generally prefer to keep that like 50%, 15%. Sorry, and yeah, this is another way to. This is the last way to distort the signal. Actually, there are extra ways to make this type of chain even more violent. For example, if you use in the stage like external preamp, we can get even more extra gain before you can come back into the synth. But it sounds pretty cool with this setup. So yeah, have fun.